Assistant coach Drew Finley. What is your official title?
Director of Pitching Development.
Director of Pitching Development on our show. Obviously, we are a sports show.
No, we're a baseball show.
We are a baseball show right now.
Proving it.
A lot to be excited about. Obviously, there's a nice event yesterday at the casino, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You had a nice panel with Roger Clemens, and you had a bunch of coaches. You had Saban. That would have been great. That would have been great.
You had anybody he was retiring.
I mean, you had technically Saban. You had Skip, right, which is basically Nick Saban of baseball, right? So you had Skip there on the panel. You had Paul Maneri on the panel. You had Coach Bianco and Mike Bianco on the panel. Obviously, Jay Johnson, and then Ben McDonald. So you had a lot of championships, right, and a lot of connection, a lot of intertwining of careers, and so it was really cool to see that. And then you had another panel of Roger Clemens, Roger Clemens, Dylan Cruz, Todd Walker, Ryan Terrio, Will Harris, a lot of really talented players. And so that was also entertaining. And so it kind of like was a jump start into baseball season. First pitch banquet is a week and a half away. Yep. Not this Sunday, but the next. We will be there. We'll be having our show from the VIP room. So go out and buy your tickets, show up to the VIP, and come hang out with us. It's sold out. Never mind. Can't buy tickets.
Buy tickets anyway.
Maybe go outside and scalp them.
Yeah.
You can scout the tickets out in front of the hotel. We're excited to be there. Baseball season's heating up, and there's a lot of hype. Obviously, defending national champions. A different looking team, very talented team. Maybe just as talented, if not more talented, just in different ways. The team's going to look a little different. Give us a little insight into what you are looking most forward to this season, and what can the fans look forward to?
I'm just excited to get back into it. Obviously, the year ended on a high note last year, winning the whole thing with a lot of emotion, a lot of
way to put it.
Right? It was pretty cool, right?
Pretty high note.
Yeah, that was awesome. But I'm just excited to see all these guys kind of flourish into what we thought they were gonna, what we know they can be. Obviously, LSU fans are gonna see a lot of new faces, especially up the middle. You know, losing Dylan Cruz up the middle, Jordan Thompson, guys who've been there for 3 years, Gavin Dugas last year. So you're going to see new faces. You're going to see transfers, freshman play. You're going to see guys who are returning like Paxton Kling, get work out there. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun.
People, that's loud and echoey.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Fans, watched last year and they say, oh, well, LSU's offense was one of the best ever, right? Mm-hmm. Which is obviously. You had Paul Skeens, so you had two of the best players in college baseball, maybe the history of college baseball. Mm-hmm. This year, I feel like the structure of the team is going to be a tad different. Obviously, I think the offense is going to come into their own. They're going to be good. I don't think you can compare this offense to last year's offense. I think it's going to look a little different. You don't have the firepower and the experience that you had in this lineup that you had last year. Yeah. But I think where you miss on that, or where you, like the parts that are maybe you're lacking in the lineup, you make up for in the pitching rotation. Right? You have the depth, I think, is better than it was last year. I think the talent from top to bottom on the pitching staff is better this year than it was last year. I know you're directly involved with the pitching staff. Yeah. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, totally. The depth is it's gone a lot better. You're not going to see your Riley Coopers go out there 3 times a weekend or 3 times a week and go out there and pitch. You're going to see a lot more guys, once, twice a week, maybe twice a weekend, depending on how things go. But we'll see more how it unfolds throughout the season. You can only kind of guess at this point, but just offensively, I think we're going to still be good. I mean, we're returning Tommy Tanks, who has, I think, 52 homers in his 2 years, and put it in perspective, like Dylan hit 58 in his 3 years. So we're going to get power through him. Hayes Tremansky's coming back. He's averaged a home run every 10 at bats. So if we get that kind of production with what we know we can get with the younger guys, I think we're going to be just fine on both sides of the ball.
So you bring up, we kind of like mentioned the depth. Now, since it's a baseball show, we're baseball guys. Yeah. I have never, through all of my days of playing baseball and being involved in baseball, seen a pitching staff with 10 lefties on it. Right? And that's obviously not the entire staff. Now, when we started this season last year, this was supposed to be one of the deepest pitching staffs that had ever been put together. Yeah. Injuries happen, baseball happens, things happen, and it ends up not being that. It ends up being a really good pitching staff, but not as deep as it was supposed to be. Yeah. Can you elaborate, not necessarily on who, but the type of arms and the type of stuff that you're going to see coming out of this pen this year?
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point with the lefties. I remember my first year here when it was Jay's first year. We only had, I think 3 or 4 lefties on the staff, and 2 of them that we used highly. But this year, I think you're going to see a lot of velocity. These kids are throwing really hard nowadays, so it's actually pretty cool.
Like showing up throwing hard.
Yeah, I mean, we have like Cam Johnson showed up to campus, and he's over there throwing 96 to 100. And we're like
top freshman in the country.
And voting top freshman in the country.
Yep.
So we're seeing stuff like that. Then we're seeing guys, Louisiana kids, Cade Anderson and Jake Brown go out there and, sit mid-90s. So we're seeing a lot of talent run through this place, not only from the freshman class, the sophomore class, but also the junior and senior class as well.
You mentioned Jake Brown, right? Obviously, Jake Brown's on the mound, but it seems like Jake Brown's probably earned his way into a starting spot in the outfield. It feels like, right? Like, obviously, they haven't come out with the rotation, the starting lineups, but based off of what he did in the fall and based off of how advanced he kind of feels at the plate, it seems like he's going to be a spot in the lineup pretty early on.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's done a lot of good things, and we're seeing him be one of the fastest guys on the team, track down balls in the outfield, take really good at bats, not swinging balls. So we're seeing a lot of good things from a freshman who's very mature for his age. So that's a lot of good things. We're all pretty happy about that. But the name of the game is got to go out there and compete and produce. So we'll see how things unfold.
Is there somebody on the team that young maybe has been on the team that people maybe forget that was on the team or don't really know anything about that you're excited about that other people should start getting excited about?
I think we saw a good glimpse of Paxton Kling last year, early on in the year. I think the injury, set him back a little bit. So I'm really excited to see a full year of health with him, seeing the things he can do, because he was highly touted out of high school when he showed up to campus as well. And then again, later in the year when we get Chase Shores and Jaden Newt back, hopefully from their injuries, that's going to be really cool to see that we have this big a depth in the team. And at that point in the season, hopefully we're in the top of the SEC standings.
You have a guy on the team, and like I said, I haven't seen it, and you're around these guys a lot more than I am, but he was on the team last year, and he didn't pitch, but SEC stats or whoever it is, starts posting all this stuff during the fall and saying he's been up to 99 miles an hour, and that's Aiden Moffitt, right? So I was told by a scout today, I was at lunch and I saw a scout that had scouted me when I was coming out of high school and kind of been around the game a really long time, basically said this kid is up to 99, but he throws a 96 to 98 mile an hour sinker ball that's nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Has he kind of opened some eyes, and is he going to have a pretty significant role in this coming season? Because people forget he was on the team last year. He's very talented, but he didn't really pitch. And so people may have forgotten he's there, but I've heard nothing but good things about him.
Yeah, really good kid. Start off really respectful kid, really super smart, really good teammate. Loves being around the guys. Always comes with a smile, which is really cool. You don't see he set the precedent of how to act as a teammate, because he didn't get a lot of playing time last year, and he was with us all the way through Omaha, being a really good teammate, and that was awesome. And then he put in the work every day. Got back in the zone, and I mean, when he's in the zone, that stuff is electric. It's a bowling ball, and you guys face those guys bowling ball, funky, tight slider. If he's in the zone and everything's clicking how it has been going, it's unhittable.
Jay talked about last year, going into the year, how important it was and the work that you guys did as a team and as a staff of creating and kind of growing and kind of putting together a culture of family and togetherness in that clubhouse. You roll over a year, there's a big exodus of really good players, really good leaders for you guys. Totally. How has it been kind of letting these next guys graduate to that next level of being a big leader, and also kind of bringing in some of these older veterans who have played other places in the country that are your transfers that are coming now to, one, not only help as a player, but they have to step into somewhat of a leadership role as well?
Totally. I mean, having LSU cross your chest is a big thing. There's a lot of tradition here, so we create the culture and we create a standard this is how we do things here, and we want to leave places better than how we found it. So guys come in, set the precedent, show each other hey, this is how we do things at LSU. This is what we expect. This is how we're going to do things so we can win, not only on the field and off the field. And guys kind of start getting more mature about those things, and you see things kind of click. And when you're with the same people every day, you build a bond. You get to know your friends, know your teammates, and all that stuff's just been kind of clicking on all cylinders right now, which is actually cool. We graduated so many guys got drafted.
Is it different getting that message across to the guys after a championship than it was getting that message across to guys before a championship?
No, I think it just starts with the leadership. I think you have returners from last year. You have older returners like Hayden Trevizzi, Alex Milazzo, who are not afraid to be a captain. Hayden's wearing number 8. Alex being a catcher. A lot of catchers are captains. Like, they'll control the game within the clubhouse, within the dugout. So you see things like that. So they've done a really good job doing that. But in terms of everything, like, everyone talks about, like, defending the championship. Like, they're not going to come take the championship. Like, we won that. Like, obviously we want to go win it again. Like, we're the reigning champs, but they can't take that away. So we know the blueprint to it. Now we just have to bring other people with us. It's like climbing Mount Everest. So this is the way, like, I look at it. It's like climbing Mount Everest. Like, the person that guides you up is someone who's done it before. So the people who are returning, like, hey, we've done this. We got to the peak we want. We want to bring these people to see, like, how cool this is.
Show you how it is.
Show you how it is. Because, like, this thing is cool. When you get there, like, it's awesome. And I guess I was special. Like, I got to see it from the bullpen. So everybody rushed the field. And, like, that was a cool experience for me. Like, that was awesome.
So you have a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Right? You have a lot of, obviously, freshmen that are coming in. You also have a lot of guys that have been there but maybe have more significant roles this year.
Yeah.
Another guy, a guy who's coming in, a transfer in from South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's going to be our starting shortstop. And, from all accounts and from everything Jay has said, as he's made a lot of improvements on the offensive side of the baseball. Yeah. He's very good defensively.
Yeah.
Now, I guess if there was a question mark, right, for the team, it's maybe the depth of your position players with the experience and the guys you can count on up the middle, right? Yeah. So, like, if tomorrow he rolls his ankle and he's out for, however long, is that something that may be concerning? Like, who would you replace? Is there somebody there that, younger guys that you feel could step into those roles and develop?
I won't particularly bring someone up. Like,
sure.
I think with our staff, like, we brought these guys here for a reason. Jay's brought these guys. Coach Jordan's brought these guys. Coach Yesie's brought these guys here for a reason because we know they have ability. They have ability to do stuff. So if something like that does happen, it's next man up. Like, because I know, like, if Tommy's been sidelined or if someone else has been sidelined, to the younger guy, hey, that's how we do things. It goes back to that whole leadership thing. Like, they're there every step of the way, which has been really cool. The leadership has been great. But in terms of that, like, we'll see everything kind of unfold, especially at the plate. Like, the last year, facing Paul Skeens every other day for these guys, like, same thing here. The depth of the pitching might dominate our hitting for a little bit in the fall and the early spring, but once we get into league play and we face another team in another uniform, things are going to spice up a little bit.
Now, let's go ahead, go back a little bit down memory lane. Let's reminisce a little bit.
Love that.
You, high school draftee, you go into pro ball, you spend your time in pro ball.
Yeah.
You leave pro ball, you're done playing, you come here
Yeah.
as a GA basically and have graduated to where you are right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Experiencing college baseball in the SEC, different. We all know that. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Right? But getting to Omaha, and after hearing what you've heard about Omaha your entire life, even through your time being here at LSU, what was that experience like from your viewpoint, and was it what you expected, more than what you expected, or where was that from you?
I have this conversation with a lot of my friends back home. Like, being on the West Coast, like, Omaha was a thing. Like, we obviously watched the College World Series, but it wasn't like the grand destination. Like, college baseball wasn't so prominent out there because there's other things to do. Like, I'm from California, I'm from San Diego. So, like, no one really thought that. I was like, hey, let's go play baseball, have fun. If I get drafted, heck yeah, let's do that. And SEC was never on my mind going through the recruiting process. Now I'm here, I'm like, whoa, this place is definitely what it pans out to be, what everyone kind of lights it up to be. And then getting into Omaha, obviously playing was super cool. Seeing the atmosphere, seeing the LSU fans was cool. But at the end of the day, like, I remember, like, being in a hotel and, like, trying to weave my way through that through that lobby of all the fans.
Yeah.
It was like turning left on Nicholson, turning into U Club at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. Like, it was impossible to do. But I thought that was, like, the coolest thing, was seeing everybody down there showing support, wearing the purple and gold. Like, that was cool. And, like, my parents were out there. My dad's in professional baseball, and he's like, that was unreal.
Is it so? Like, I'm so glad you said that. Like, you have that conversation back with your boys back home right now, with your parents and probably family members and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is it easy to paint that picture for them, like, after going through it now? Even though, like, that's something, like you said, it's not really a thought. It's not something that people are looking to do. It's not July or June comes around, into June comes around, and people in San Diego are like, hey, let's try to make that trip to Omaha, even though we have no affiliation to – like it's not a thing to do. Is it something that's easy to make them understand like how special of an experience that is?
Yeah, I mean, all my friends back home, I have a really small circle, so they all watch the games, like big sport fanatics. I know my buddy with the Rockies, they're watching in the clubhouse and stuff like that, so that was really cool to hear. Painting the picture, like it's easy to paint. It's like, hey man, like you watch like all these LSU tailgates on the football, like that's exactly what it was in Omaha, maybe times 10. And then like the jello shots I have in photos and videos, that was super cool. And like I remember my buddy played at UCLA, and they were number 1 in the nation back-to-back years, 2 of the years he was there. And like I remember he was there, and they're like opening day, it's a Friday night guy versus Friday night guy. One guy win the first round, the other guy win the first round, and there was like 100 people there. And we're facing Southeastern, and there's still 10,000 people there. It's 9 day different, like out here, and it's like super cool to see that, because you don't get that experience. Like you guys, we all play professional baseball, like lower level minor leagues, you don't get those fans.
No.
Maybe in the Midwest, maybe you get 5,000-6,000, but
and that's only like at a couple spots too.
Yeah, but there's no passion behind it. They're watching the game for the entertainment. They're not there because they're pulling for it.
Yeah.
And then obviously our season's 56 games, not 162. So every game's like Game 7 in the World Series. It's a playoff, and that's how we approach it.
Yeah.
Lloyd, you got something?
Oh, yes, I do have one question for you. You mentioned Cam Johnson, and I just was interested in the entire recruiting process, because LSU is able to get big names. You see the Bregmans, you've seen the Cruzes, but Cam Johnson tops those in terms of just the rankings. You being involved with being the director of pitching development, I just want to know what kind of that recruiting process was, where it comes down to, I'd imagine, a couple of conversations, but even at the end of the day, when the draft comes, you're still kind of holding your breath.
Totally. I think Jay does a really good job. I mean, everyone seems to know what Jay has his mentality if he wants to go win in every aspect of the game, whether it's on the field, recruiting, community service, everything. Like does everything well. But in terms of like actually like the recruiting process, I have no affiliation with that. I cannot do that. I cannot go actively recruit players. I'm here when they have recruiting visits, so I'll chat it up with them, tell them my story. I don't really do anything to sell them because I'm not allowed to do that. But
how bad did you want him then? When you saw the tape, how bad did you want to coach him?
Oh, 100%. Like you see these kids, dude, they're all like 6'4", 215 of pure muscle, and I'm like, man, like how hard do you throw? They're like 95, 97. I'm how old are you? They're like a junior in high school, and I'm like, dude, remember I was like 90, 93 was like the top velo of like 2015. But yeah, all that stuff's super cool, and like that's my favorite part is like talking to these kids, because you just kind of like flashback to when you're going through that process, and you just remember like how cool it was to take your first visit. So you try to make it the most for them. Like, hey, like everybody on staff, whether it's someone who can actively recruit you or someone who's just like a minuscule part of it, like myself, like just be able to like show, hey, we want you here. We like enjoy you being here, type of thing. Like this
go with the laws to Lake Beaupre.
Is that where they live?
No, that's just
you're about to out his fucking
a
address?
spot over there.
I think Lake Beaupre is, rest in peace.
I say that's
it's still there.
That street's got to be not the same.
It ain't the same as it was, Coach.
I mean, but there's about 7 Lake Beaupres now.
Yeah.
It used to be
it's
one.
too far away too nowadays, right? Like that's no, that can't.
The old Lake Beaupre is where all the bodies are buried. Almost Mikey's.
Well, what?
Did
you fall off a scooter?
Fall off a scooter in Lake Beaupre?
Was that not Lake Beaupre?
That was not Lake Beaupre.
Oh, okay.
I didn't fall off. Okay.
Still got it.
I just wrecked.
Yeah.
There's a difference between falling off and
good getting out in
and
front of
wrecking.
your skis.
Yeah, it was not a smart move by me. Bad move.
I didn't fall off. I crashed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds way better.
Yeah, right. I mean, if I fell off, I'd be a little uncoordinated. Just a motor vehicle challenged.
Yes.
That's kind of how.
Stay clear of them on the highway.
Yeah, a moped challenge right there.
Oh, you should listen to this man in the car. Every day he calls me whenever he's on the road, and it is just.
I'm aware?
Yes, you're very aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I wish the windows were down.
Well, sometimes it's long days, and it's just you get very upset sometimes with other people who aren't very courteous on the road.
Guy's gonna kill somebody.
I love like driving through this place and you see like bumpers like duct taped to the cars. I think that's the funniest thing about this place.
That's mine right now.
That's Lloyd's has exactly what part of his.
He says right now. What he means by right now is for the last 8 months. It's been.
You can't even tell, dude.
I don't even know. Is it duct tape, electrical tape?
Shout out Flex Seal.
Flex Seal.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. You never got it fixed, huh?
No, I mean, who's to say? You can't even notice.
I mean, look, you're good with it.
Yeah, one side is the good side, one side's not the not so good side.
You have another question?
Strategically.
So you only take pictures from the other side?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just like a person ready for my close up.
You don't hit yellow poles anymore.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't learn your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
You got another one?
No, all good.
You said you had another question, I thought.
No.
Oh, you just
Did you get scared? To ask
you just
the
gave
question?
me the you just gave me the sign like question.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, give me a
I
sign.
saw it. I saw the sign.
think
No,
you
I
gave
was
me-
turning your headphones up. They like, doo-doo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can think of one.
So obviously,
Come on, guys. We talk shop a lot.
no. We're good. He just tried. I thought he had a question. Y'all are talking about Cam Johnson, right? Obviously, he comes in and projected maybe in 2025 as being potentially the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Right. He's gonna come. Part of the reason why he's here is because some teams were, not very sure about his medicals, right? That's you don't have to confirm nor deny that, right? But that's from what I was reading. They just weren't very sure about, do we trust his medicals or whatever, right? That's every draft, all of these for big prospects. That's just what happens. Him coming in here and having the rotation, having the experience in the rotation that you already have, there's not a real spot right now that you can just say, okay, hey, he's going to be just slide right into that weekend rotation role. Is it looking like more like a back into the rotation type of guy, or back into the pitching staff type of guy, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, high leverage situation, so that you could potentially use him on Friday and on Sunday and get him twice in one weekend?
I think with him, it's just like continue to develop. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's here for a reason, and whether you're a freshman in college or you're Clayton Kershaw in the big leagues, like in year 15, like every day you're trying to get better.
Yep.
You're trying to find some sort of advantage in your game so you can get better and continue playing the game that we all love, because obviously it ended for us at our times.
Yes, it did.
It's going to end for everybody at some point.
Yeah, it ends for everybody, and whether it's Cam, it's going to be all production based. Like, this team is so deep that we don't have roles. Like, the roles are in there to go in there and get outs, whether that's in the 5th inning, the 1st inning, the 7th inning, the 9th inning, the 20th inning, like whatever it is. Like, when we call your number, like, go get outs. Like, it really does not matter. Like, if you're a team guy and you care about the team, go in there, do your job, get outs, and that's all we can ask. And shake hands.
How hard is it to convince like 18, 19, 20-year-olds of something like that, right? Like we just talked about, like, there's 10 lefties on this staff. This staff is supposedly deeper than any staff that we've seen. And I'm not trying to just bump it up. Like, I kind of truly believe it, and I really want to see it kind of come to fruition, because I'm interested to see what y'all look like on the mound this year. But how hard is it to convince that many guys with front-end talent, like, let's just be honest, that, hey, they've been told everywhere they've ever been, for the most part, that you are the Friday guy. Totally. And they've been the Friday guy, right? Yeah. Like, everybody don't just play on Friday, but they've been the guy on their pitching staff. How hard is it to get those guys to truly understand, hey, man, like, you may not be throwing on Friday. We just need you to get outs whenever we need you to get outs. How hard is it to convince those guys that?
I would say, like, we just preach exactly what you said, like, go in there and get outs. I know everyone was, whether they're coming out of high school or coming from another college, like, they're the top dog of their program or their high school, that they felt all the love, they're the guy, and they come into here and it's like, okay, well, we have guys who are juniors that have done it in this league before, that have success, and it's their time. And those guys who are the front end stars, like, let's just go like Paul Skeens last year, like, he took guys under his wing because he knew when he gave the ball up to the next guy, like, he wanted them to do so well. So not only like the team won, but it's like a showcase, like, hey man, like, I want to lead you to where I am right now. I want you to be as good as me, if not better than me, type of mentality. And it's like, you're only as strong as your weakest link, the last dog in your pack. That's how strong you are, and that's what these guys kind of. No,
I'm laughing at that. Like, the narrative that Cade Beloso spent on ESPN of I'll work harder than you, I'll work harder than you, and it's totally not who Paul Skeens is, and ESPN just took it and ran with it.
100%.
And he is like, Beloso, you buried me. Like, people think I'm a total asshole now, and then to hear like the actual version of who Paul Skeens is the exact opposite of I'm better than you. It's like, no, dude, I want you to be better than me.
100%. And like, that's just, again, it goes back to, like, you want to leave the place better than you found it. Obviously, Paul was only here for 1 year and made significant impact into the program for the rest of the LSU baseball history.
College baseball.
But college baseball. But like, him and Dylan, like, set the blueprint. That's the standard, like, how to be a superstar, not only in this team but in this league or in general. Like, that's how you do it. Don't talk about yourself. Pump up your team. Bring your team with you. And at the end of the day, like, you guys will all flourish in many ways.
You talked about Paul. You talked about a lot of the guys from last year, right? I think a big reason why y'all were so good last year was because obviously the talent, but you had a great mix of young guys that were making impacts and older guys, right? I'll consider Dylan Cruz and Paul older, right, because they're juniors. But even more than that, you had Belosos and you had Travinsky, who's back, and you had Dugas, and you had all these guys who have been there for multiple years, 4th, 5th, 6-year seniors. Yeah. You don't really have that as much. You have a couple, but not as much as you had last year, right? You don't have as many guys that are old and been there and experienced, but with the playing time that those guys had last year. How do you replace that? Do you have guys that are kind of stepping up? Obviously, you have Travinsky and Milazzo there, but are some of these other guys that have been there for a few years kind of stepping up and trying to take over that type of role?
Yeah, totally. I think like I said, Alex and Hayden have done a good job controlling the clubhouse, policing the clubhouse.
Got their own show. I like for them to come on here. I feel like,
they're going to have to pay top dollar for them to come.
I mean, hopefully, like, they don't, supersede our show. You know what I mean? Like, I'd still like to get some of the guys on ours.
Well, if all things go well, they won't be here after this year, so they'll be doing professional baseball.
Well, somebody's going to keep the show alive, I'd imagine, right?
It's valid.
Maybe we do
could
it.
Take over it.
That's my whole point is I think we should collab on this deal. Like, I mean, we're open for business on the In the Dirt thing. If LSU Gold, if you're listening, we'll go out there and throw in a bucket.
In the dirt.
In the dirt.
In the dirt. I like to get the In the Dirt guys on here.
Yeah, we're trying.
They've been on here before. Let's get them on together.
They've been on as not part of that's not in the dirt. Nice to get a little nice collab on there.
Yeah, y'all should do it in the outfield.
In the outfield.
In the grass.
In the grass.
Now we're talking.
Hey,
Everyone brings their dogs to the field now. You can get some puppies in there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Kirk Herbstreit's out there. What? With it, they always brings Ben everywhere. They got the Kirk Herbstreit.
How did that happen? Like, because it wasn't all year. It just started
he was in
like.
the booth during the national championship.
I think it actually did
like
start
2
this
months.
year. I think he's been doing it like all
the
year.
whole year. This year?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think
he's
I
been
read
doing it
something
all
about
year.
Yeah.
But he didn't start publicizing it until like midway through the year, right?
Finally got him passed to be able to travel on the airplane.
Yeah.
He's a private plane. He's an emergency.
So why?
Now he
People
goes
didn't start
everywhere.
making it a big deal until like the back end of this year, but like Lloyd said, he finally got it to where he was like an emotional support dog and he could fly with him. So he's gone on every trip with him, and I think
What was the reasoning on? Like, how did that come about?
Companion, dude.
Is
I
he
guess.
like?
I don't know. He's on the road.
Is he old? Is he about to die? Is it like?
No, I just think we talked about how like his weekend schedule in the season, like it's crazy.
Yeah, right.
And I think he was doing all this by himself, his family and everybody still in Ohio and everything. I was like, can I bring the dog? Yeah.
Wow, good for him. That's awesome.
And he's got Pat McAfee, who's basically like a gold retriever. He's got 2 of them.
They got a lot. They got a lot happening right there on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. Let's dive into that.
Do you really want to do that? I don't think so. Look, I think you did a really good job today coming out here and saying, okay, it's time to get back to sports, right? I think for about a 2-week stretch,
Hey,
they had a lot of political conversations, and that's not what he wanted the show to be about.
when you shake up the world, there's inevitably going to be some people that
No doubt.
don't like how it, because you're not really conforming to what the norm has been.
No doubt, and I think that for,
The Norby has been.
look at you.
I
See,
said the norm.
I
You
thought-
you over
See?
here name dropping. See, this is how this thing
I
gets
don't think
started.
me and Norby are going to
I
cross
said the
paths
norm.
anytime
I
soon.
said the norm.
B.
We said we weren't going to do that. You said you weren't going to do that, but you
What's
can't.
that? I
you know.
think that there's another.
You
There's
wanna
a couple
dive into
other
that?
names.
He didn't apologize for that, though.
No, never.
He stands by that, which, look, good for him.
There's a reason why that was aired on Hour 3.
Yep,
Nobody watches that one.
So they say.
so they say.
He didn't get on ESPN with nobody watching him. So yeah.
All right, to wrap this thing up, right, we're still talking about team, obviously. We're talking about it being really close to baseball season. First pitch banquets in a week and a half, right? What's the schedule look like leading up to that, right? You have guys are coming back to school. School starts, I guess, next week.
Yeah, next week. So I think Monday's like Martin Luther King Day. I think.
Oh, is that next Monday?
Hey, show some respect,
Yeah,
dog.
Jesus.
God, oh,
I
man.
don't know if it was next Monday or the Monday after that. I forget the
I think
date.
it's this upcoming Monday.
It's the 10th. It is. It's
Yeah.
upcoming Monday. Yep.
So I think
Get that on the calendar.
It's on there. I don't have to go. No office. I don't have to go in the office.
All right. Well,
Oh, that's what you're excited about?
No.
Wow.
I just know
Wow.
it's on the calendar because I know I don't have to go in the office.
Bet you like that school was off too.
That was very nice.
Thank you, Martin.
I mean, it was off for President's Day. It's off for Mardi Gras. It's off for, there's a lot of reasons why it's off for
there's a lot of off of school at this point of the year.
Yeah, we have like
There's a lot of that.
They have the day off for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Tuesday starts school, so they can come back and we can be with them full time. Like right now, the guys are just trickling in on their own to get some work done, get themselves prepared for the season.
So there's nothing structured right now.
No, I think it's all player ran. I think if guys are here, they're kind of getting together and doing their own thing.
Is somebody taking the reins on that? Like, is there somebody that stepped up and kind of been? I would imagine last year it was probably like a Cruiser or Skeens. Is there somebody that you've kind of seen at the forefront of leading like these player workouts? You hear the stories of like Joe Burrow in 2019, like made sure that all the receivers got together and threw on their own time. Is there something like that with baseball where it does not necessarily coaches driving the process and their player that stepped up?
Yeah, I think it's just been Alex and Hayden. They've been driving the reins the whole way. Then on the pitching staff, Ackenhausen's been a good leader for us, so that's been kind of cool to see. They just say, hey, I guess we want to win national championship. This is how it starts. Like, let's get in here, get early, get ahead on stuff, get acclimated to the Louisiana weather. It gets cold here, in the early half of the season. So let's get going and start building those relationships and start needing out some of the things that we need to do before we go play a real game. You good, man?
I'm good.
At me?
I'm good. Long day.
A little bit.
What?
You got him choked up over there?
I guess so, man. He wants to go play.
He loves.
Look, I want to be out there. Repeating as a national champion is tough, but the lead up to it and the anticipation and the work getting to it is kind of exciting, right? Because you're a target and there's a target on your back.
That's
different.
That's a cool thing, though.
Right, I agree.
Targeting back, it's nice.
No doubt. You have to embrace that.
I like that stuff.
Felt like they embraced it last year. Y'all embraced it last year, right? Now, y'all didn't win a championship going into the year, but y'all had all the hype. Y'all had number one team in the country, consensus number one team, and there was a target. Now the target's even bigger because same conversation's happening. It's just this time you are the defending national champion. So it's a big responsibility, but it's something that, like you said, very exciting.
Yeah, that's why we play the game. That's why we're in
No
the
doubt.
game. Like, you play to win, you coach to win, you're in the game to win, so no pressure.
First team, full team scrimmage.
Oh, good question. I would say probably the weekend, so for that Friday. So for maybe next Friday.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be so cold next
We'll
week.
do like in the middle of the day or something to kind of
Coach.
get some of the warmth.
Ain't going to matter next week.
2 sleeves.
The lows are in the 20s.
Oof. If it was like it was a couple days ago, where it's just windy as hell.
Dude, it's the wind chill here that gets me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's what
gonna
it
be.
is.
It's supposed to be in the 20s next week.
I remember we played in La Tech, and it was like 20 degrees, rainy, windy.
That Louisiana
Worst
cold with
game
the
experience
windy
of my life.
stuff is the worst.
That's bone
I'm
chilling.
down
Coach.
there. I don't have like a thermal or a sweatshirt. I'm wearing like this Nike Pro Combat long sleeves, thinking I'm good. Nope, nothing. Got a cold after that one.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Don't be tough guy. Don't be the hero.
Well,
It didn't help it. It was like the first inning went down to the bullpen. I was like, oh my god! I was down there for 3.5 hours.
They don't have the big huge heavy
thermal
jackets.
Yeah, they don't have those parkas. I mean, we do. We just didn't bring them, or we couldn't find them. I don't know what happened. We just didn't bring them on that trip. That was not a fun trip.
Tough.
Oh. I'd say Giannis on
Post game spread got lost. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Like,
There's a lot going on. Not great.
going on.
Not great, Bob.
Gotta worry about North Louisiana.
Yeah.
They're tricksters.
We're excited for the first pitch banquet. We're excited to be there in a week and a half. Obviously, we're going to be in the VIP area, so come stop by, right?
Yeah.
Walk by, come hang out, sit down. We have 45 minutes, we were told.
Tight 45.
Tight 45 minutes. It is a strict, hard to 45, so we're going to be in and out.
45.
Yeah, F45. Functional
Done
45.
45 before, yeah.
That's it.
Mikey bounce.
It's, catch
me in there doing some,
I'm in the weight game right now. That's it.
Catch me in there doing some up downs.
Yeah.
Those burpees, man, are awful.
I didn't do it today. I don't know what y'all are talking about, so that's great.
Chris today was like on the ground, like just looking at the sky, like, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? He's like, all this hit me, I'm crushed.
The big burpee days are tough.
Oh, man.
That's a tough one.
Was it like the burpees before the workout type
No,
deal?
it
Do you
wasn't that
remember
one.
those?
I might have walked out if it was that
Ridiculous,
one.
yeah.
Tough.
Good workout.
Well, there'll be no burpees next Sunday, right? We will not make you do burpees at our F45, our hard 45 show. But
45%.
if you're planning to go, we're looking forward to seeing you. Come and stop by the show. Come and hang out with us. We're going to be talking to, decent amount of players. We, like I said, don't have a long time to do it, but give some insight. Talk about the event. It's a great, really good event. Last year was sold out. Biggest they've ever had. I imagine this year is going to be even bigger. So go out there and support the boys, and we appreciate you. As always, come on the show. We're going to have you along a lot more. Obviously, baseball season, just the beginning.
So busy, I'm not going to come on.
It's okay. You can call in.
We'll do the. Do you remember what team was it? Where it was?
Yeah, your phone works. We'll call in.
Yeah.
You bring a laptop on the road, we'll call in.
Do you remember when those people like the college kids called into the bullpen and they actually got somebody like get?
Oh, yeah, like the A&M. Like
Yeah,
the
it was
A&M
A&M.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that one.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Dude, a bullpen phone doesn't have a real phone number. There's no area code.
He said his boy was on the team.
555.
555. I can remember it.
Oh,
Y'all have walkie-talkies.
Yeah, we do
though.
walkies.
Yeah, I think that's what started. A&M started.
Y'all should just do Nextel phones. Hey, where you
And
at?
then worst case, again, if they don't work, we have like signals like, hey, the tall guy, like we'll do stuff like that.
Yeah, the big guy.
I like the nice
Italian.
signals. The signals used to always get me going. Yeah, I used to like that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they get creative. They
Coop
get
was
creative.
like, we did like knuckleball for Coop, even though he never threw it last year. I was so pissed because I think it was so deadly. Like you throw it like in bullpens and it wouldn't move. It was like
I thought
Y'all are really nice
I thought
about
Coop
it.
may have been this one.
I'm about to say y'all are really nice about it. I like when people get like
this
personal
one.
with it. I like when people get
Well,
personal.
yeah, a lot
with
of
it.
those.
Now they do.
Yeah.
It would be like funny, like Jay would be like, get Coop hot. I'm like, all right, 2 pitches later, it's Coop hot. I'm like, he just got up.
Just
And
stood up.
I'm
He
like,
just
Coop-
stood
I'm
up.
like, Coop, you hot? He's like, yeah, I need 8 out there. I'm good.
I love that. Love that. That's
Dude, that makes zero
definition
sense.
of just a guy.
Dude.
The whole pitch clock doesn't make sense. The umpire tells you have 8, but you have like 2 minutes to do it. And it's like, if 2 minutes is like the time allotted and that's the structured time, like I can't start before 2 minutes. Why can't I just throw for 2 minutes? It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Like why throw 8, be done in
We're making baseball better, okay? Relax.
Like, oh.
That's
relax.
what it's about. It's about getting them quicker innings.
We gotta
That's what
cut the
makes
time
people-
limit down. Even though the national championship game just lasted 3 hours and 60 minutes, no big deal. We gotta cut this one down because people
45
only will
minutes,
watch
60 minutes.
baseball
I think that's 4 hours.
if it's shorter. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's what gets people to the games.
Well, I've got to go get my Tiger Dog and my Dippin' Dots.
There you go.
Perfect time.
And your
2
beer.
minutes, I'm back.
We appreciate you, dude. We'll have you on again here soon. We'll see you very, very soon. We'll see you at the first pitch banquet.
Sounds good.